There we go. Right, I think everyone should be able to hear us now. I do apologize for that. Thanks guys, thanks. And I do apologize again for that. I finished my race quite late and had to jump in and get stuff sorted out, so we do apologize for that. There's 3 minutes left in qualifying. I see DKP is at the top at the moment. They say that they can't hear you and Sean. Can you guys check your settings? Let me just check the settings again. I do apologize. No, my voice is not good enough, trust me. I'm supposed to be the silent one on the stream. Audio sharing settings. Share party audio. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. That should be it now. I do apologize. I'm using my new profile for streaming, so I had to get everything set up again.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Can you hear Steven and Sean now?
We have a minute, 20 seconds left of qualifying. DPP currently improving on his previous best. Sean, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So we've got Ghost Killer out in front. He's about half a tenth up on Deaky. But as you say, Deaky's on a flyer at the moment. Let's see if he pulls it through to the end of the lap.
He doesn't have enough time after this, so definitely has to be this lap or nothing. Great lap there by Ghost Killer Pace. Sam's just moved up to third.
Stephen is saying that you are very soft. Dean, my settings are on 1080p. I might have messed up something when I was setting it up again, but I do apologize if that is the case.
Josh turned my volume down, so I had to turn my mic up.
126.4 from Deaky.
We're about to see it now. Here he comes over the line. 4 tenths up on second place. What a last lap.
Okay, let's get this started.
15 seconds left. There's a couple guys that might just make it over the line. Obviously, Mr. Josh is about 5-6 seconds ahead of us on the PlayStation compared to the stream. Vanna, let us know if you can hear Sean.
Yes, as we get to the end of qualifying, I think the top three is pretty much how we envisioned it. And with the Deaky, Ghost Killer and Serious Sam filling those top spots.
It looks like they have a bit of a traffic jam at the end. They're just all queuing up together. if you guys in the chat can let us know your podium, just see who can predict the result correctly. We've got Diki, Ghost Killer Pace, Sirasam, Goniwe, JWO Pace, Dynamic Jean putting it on 5th, Kalen 6th, Lorenzo in 7th. We've jumped to the back a bit, SMP3 Pro 9th, R Davids is 8th, and away we go.
Right, we're off.
Would you use your boost at the start?
I think as just to get you off the line and down to that first corner first, definitely you'd dip into that boost.
Looks like they're making it through cleanly. Obviously pool 1, everyone's giving each other space. Tiki's a nice little gap off the start, everyone else is nose to tail.
Sticking up the inside of Jean there.
Yeah, Jean in that in his Opel livery, obviously an extra 50 horsepower.
I think you might need a little bit more than that though.
Definitely. The guys are flying. I see Diki's already got a second gap halfway through the lap. Ghost Killer Pace 2nd, Sirius Sam 3rd. Sam was the master with the strategy last week, pitting later than everyone and overcutting a couple. Just thinking.
Yeah, I think that can definitely play into your advantage. If you can carry the tyre away longer through your stint, then definitely that is something that can work for you.
Yeah, we have DK coming to finish the first lap. Second, Ghost Killer, Sam, Goniwe, Sean, Kalen still behind Sean, Lorenzo in 7th, R David's 8th. See, Josh is going through the field, catch up with the rest of the pack shortly. 22 laps, should take about 32-33 minutes. Pace these guys are at. R Davids and Lorenzo having a nice battle, which is bunching the pack up behind. Welcome Mansell to the comments. I hope you guys are enjoying. See, we've got 39 people on, so if you guys could all, if you haven't already, give the channel a like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Do you expect anyone here to try to stop?
I think it depends on where they are in the pack. I think if guys are running out in front, unless they aren't making any ground on the guys in front of them, they may try an alternate strategy. At the moment I see Ghost Killer pegging Diki out in front. He's not really getting away at the moment. And Sam just watching comfortably from 3rd place there.
Yeah, I think Sam's playing the long game again, waiting and hoping to save a bit of fuel, make up a couple seconds in the pits. This battle from 7th to I think 15th almost is extremely tight. I caught a glimpse of RTA Leap there in 11th, MJ Ninja 10th.
Lorenzo weaving on the straight just to break the slipstream as well.
Yeah, obviously if they're trying to overtake though, he's only allowed to move once, but pick a line and defend it, but he had enough of a gap there. I don't see any issue there. It's quite nice to have some of these new guys in pool 1. I see Dynamic Sean's doing very well. Who else we got here? Ghost Climax, iCarbon, they're always there and thereabouts. They just, I think, moved up last week to pool 1, giving a good account of themselves.
Yeah, I think it's now we're getting to see the guys who didn't really show good lap 1 lap or so good 1 lap pace in the seeding round. They're now coming through, and you're gonna. I think you'll see more of a constant top 20 with maybe like 3 or 4 guys in and out of pool 1 and 2 on a weekly basis.
Definitely. Obviously, with the tyre wear and having to remain consistent, it's a bit different to the 1 lap pace from seeding. Just moving back to the front, gaps up to 2 seconds. Tiki having a nice relaxed Sunday afternoon drive. already down into the 26s on the third lap. It's crazy fast. Jean's
an interesting team battle shaping up between Ganiwe and Kalen. Let's see if they work together, and if one of them has a bit of extra pace, lets the other one go.
Yeah, I see some guys asking where's Donkey. Vanna did mention it in the comments. We mentioned it earlier. He's just taking a bit of time off because he's in about 3-4 different championships on different games. With the new baby on the way, it's getting a bit hectic. Deke just edging out that gap. Ghost Killer in a quite comfortable second at the moment. Sam's dropped back a little bit.
I'd say Diki's used already around a quarter of his overtake already in building that gap. And Ghost Killer looked pretty similar. See, the rest of the guys still sitting almost untouched on their boost.
Yeah, it's good strategy to save it for the end, so when you do get in a battle, if the guy's used his up, you can obviously get past without him being able to defend. I saw Ganiwe had a little slide in the back there, so Caitlin possibly could get a run on him down in the straight here. Team Mercedes pace, AMG Lewis, get in there Lewis.
If we look a little further down, we've got Lorenzo, followed by Stephen, MJ Ninja, and Ghost Climax in 10th place.
Yes. David's was up a little bit higher earlier, but I see he's down to 11th. I don't know if there was a small mistake there, or obviously they're running so close, 2-3 seconds, and you lose 4 places. RTA Leap just behind him. We've got a few of our newer guys showing quite well. I mentioned earlier, or not newer guys, but the non-usual suspects in Pool 1. 4th place at the moment for Dynamic Jean is flying.
Looks like we have a slight problem for our David there. Not sure if he was having a problem with his controller or wheel or whatever he's on, or if he was burning a penalty. He lost about 3 or 4 positions there.
Possibly a penalty. I know that left-right switchback section, I think it's a 1 or 1.5 second penalty if you go over the curb too much. And obviously the GTSA rules, you have to burn it off before the end of the lap.
I see Diki has been using quite a bit of his boost, his overtake, and even now as well.
I think his plan's just to be in front, run away and build up the gap while he can. He's using a little bit of game out the slow corners. Maybe just have a slow scroll through the field. Let's see whose tyres and boost are looking in good shape. I hope everyone that's watching jumped onto Trackart's Facebook page and TGN Racing Simulators. They'll see some sponsors. Give their Facebook page a like. Check out their website. They've got some really cool products. Ghost Killer pace setting his fastest lap last time around. Same for Serious Sam as the fuel gets lighter. Sam's hardly touched his boots. His tyres are still looking new, very similar to last week. Possibly just conserving.
If he doesn't lose too much time to deke out in front, he could really be sitting in a very advantageous position now.
Definitely. We're on Dynamic Jean. He's using boost now. Tyres aren't too bad. Half a tank of fuel. And he's got a 2.3 second lead ahead of Ganiwe. And then it's a further 1.2 back to Kalen. I think the next 2 cars also about a second back, Lorenzo and SMP3 Pro.
So that all bunched up, crowded midfield, they started to string out a little bit now. And everybody's in that like 1 to 1.5 second space.
Yeah, we had that last week, and then about halfway through with the pit stops, things turned around, and we had that huge battle with Lorenzo, Kalen, I think M Ninja was in it. There's about 5-6 guys that were overtaking each other every corner. So we can expect something similar today, possibly. If the guys that pitted early last week haven't learned their lesson, of the fuel burning off, running with the slightly warm tyres and low fuel seemed to work quite well. And then fresh tyres with the same fuel till the end.
I see Ghost Climax has dropped off the back of SMP3 Pro at the moment. Not sure if he had a bit of a problem, but the other guys are just all sitting, holding station. Oh, and that's a spin from Ninja.
Oh, there we go, through the chicane.
The YouTube PlayStation delay. That puts him right towards the back as he was getting on Ghost Climaxes. We had possibly a bit of loss of downforce in those nasty curves. iCarbon and MJ Ninja just having a little bit of a tussle. Obviously lost drive down the straight. He can still recover from there, get out of the relegation positions. We haven't even mentioned him today. KBR Fists in 12th. He's just up the road.
And he was one of the guys, he actually had a very good race last week. Seems to be a little bit on the back foot this week. Maybe just not a track combo that suits him.
Correct. Obviously with Donkey not racing, only 2 people from this pool will get dropped down to pool 2 next week. So if you're in this battle, you want to make sure you stay 12th, 13th and 14th at the moment. Carbon and MJ Ninja, they're in the relegation positions.
It also means that whoever finished 4th in Pool 2 would go up, if I'm not mistaken. Werner can just confirm that in the comments for us.
Our GTSA accountant will sort everything out.
I'm sure he's already on it.
Yeah, the points are probably done, just waiting for any incident reviews tomorrow, and then they'll be handed out. Let's take a look back towards the front there, Josh. So we've got 11th to 14 in a nice train.
Yeah, so that relegation position fight is going to heat up.
Diki has pulled out a 5-second gap. Wow.
Ghost Pace, let's see Ghost Pace possibly tyre wear. He's still got half his boost left, lap 9. I expect the guys to pit any time from 10 to 13. Yeah, Werner just pointing out that only 2 are dropping down, so only 3 will go up, not 4. Just a good thing we've got someone who understands maths here, because you had me confused for a second there. Sam's also closing on Ghost Killer. Only a second behind now. Tyres still looking like mine did after 1 lap on lap 9. I need to invest in a controller. Dynamic Sean, only 2.5 behind. Brilliant driver from him. In the Opel Calibra style livery.
And his tyre wear also not looking too bad.
I saw him up front at the start. I thought possibly the boost got him a couple of positions, but he's actually gapped the pace boys. They're still having their inter-team battle. I think possibly those gaps are because of your turbulent air that makes the downforce get a little bit less in some of these long corners. It's hard to stay within a second.
Yeah, definitely.
Also scrubs your tyres, so you lose grip and you lose downforce after a while. So that explains his 2 and 2.9 second gap. Lorenzo is still sitting in 7th place, 3.1 behind Kalen. SMP3 Pro is just further back, 8th. You can see there he's not too far behind Lorenzo, but then they've seem to have a little bit of a gap again. It looks about 4 or 5 seconds. So who's going to blink first with the pit stops?
Yeah, I think everybody's going to go the one-stop strategy here. I don't see anybody I think they've gone too deep into the race now to
Correct.
run an alternate.
Yeah, alternate would have been like 877. So maybe 10 and 12 or 12 and 10. Be interesting to see if anyone does the slightly earlier version.
Yeah, while we were scrolling through all the
There we go.
scrolling through the standings earlier, like everybody from 7 down had been using their boost very sparingly. So I think we might see some position changing as the second half of the race goes on now.
Yeah, we have SMP3 Pro heading out the pits, back to DK at the front. Nice and comfortable, no one else in the picture at the moment. He's got about a quarter tank fuel left, so his tyres aren't looking bad. No reason for him to pull out there. He set the fastest lap of the race 2 laps ago. So just take advantage of that low fuel. See Josh is fiddling with settings there.
Sorry guys, I wanted to go on board with the DKO, and but I'm just having a little bit of an issue. It doesn't want to allow me to. I'm just going to exit the spectator mode and get back in.
Okay, so DK into the pits, followed by Jean. So second and third on the track, they've stayed out. They become leader in second place now. So I think if Sam was going to make a move now, he would go for another 2 or 3 laps, really lay into the boost and see where it brings him.
Fits in, goes into the pits. I see Jean's leading now. And I timed it yesterday. I did a bit of practice. It was about 25 seconds for one stopper. The 2 stoppers, it was 10 second and a 13 second stop. So obviously no one's 2 stopping here, but 3 seconds longer would have worked quite well for people who had a gap and had a bit more tyre wear. But these guys are looking after their tyres that they're still almost brand new, so no point or no advantage in stopping twice. Here we have Sam closing the gaps under a second now to Ghost Killer pace. DK's further, or he's actually dropped to 4th, sorry, it's gone anywhere in 3rd place. Gap of about 11-12 seconds back to DK from Ghost Killer, who's in the pits now.
Sam stays out,
doing another lap.
Yeah, that's what I thought he might do.
Yeah.
Yes, I think if Sam can run a couple of 26s here now for 2 or 3 laps, then it will really bring him right back into the fight with DK.
We go right on board with Sam a little bit.
You can see he's struggling quite a bit to make the apexes now. So
as soon as those tyres start going red, it's a downhill slope.
Yeah.
I think he'll be in this lap 13.
Yeah, I also believe that he'll come in now.
Push hard for the last 9. The gap was 10 point something seconds to DK, who's already got it down to 9.6, 9.4. But obviously he's already done 2-3 laps on those tyres, and when Sam pits, he'll have the fresher tyres.
And he'll have a lot more boost left that he can use.
Plus the refueling time will be shorter. The gap was about 6 seconds to Ghost Killer pace, and then another second or half a second to Sam. So Sam's still got quite a bit of time to make up, but let's see what the overcut does here. Pretty sure he'll come out behind, but the different question is just how far behind. Be about 2-3 seconds possibly. Actually, this is why I'm not the accountant. About 5 seconds, I think. Lorenzo also pitting. He was running 3rd. He's obviously learned from last week where he pitted earlier and got undercut by the other guys. So we're back to our original top 3. DK first, Ghost Killer second, Sam third, but Sam is 7 seconds behind, 9 laps to go. Let's see what he can do. He's already on the boost. All of the top 3 have a similar amount of boost left. I think Sam's got slightly more. Gonue is sitting in 4th at the moment. He's managed to get ahead of Jean, but not sure if that was possibly just from pitting later, or if Jean ran wide or off somewhere. He's now sitting in between the 2 pace drivers.
Yeah, they may have needed slightly less fuel than Jean, possibly.
Gap's only a second. Just looking at the time here, Gonue pitted on lap 12 and Jean on lap 11, looking at the lap time, so that 1 lap less fuel plus any might have saved. He was about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds behind. He's now ahead. Kalen running a comfortable 6-8 seconds ahead of Lorenzo. I think we're going to have that Lorenzo and the midfield pack all battling together. Lorenzo 2 seconds ahead of Ghost Climax. A bit of a battle for 9th in the background there with SMP3 Pro. I'm not sure who it was that was there with him. How do you see this last section of the race going, Sean?
So I think DK is in control, out in front at the moment. I don't think anybody's got a pace advantage that's going to be able to pull them back in towards him. So I think if anybody's going to get back into that fight, it's going to be from a mistake.
There's Sam's just moved ahead of Ghost Killer on the position board. Sorry to interrupt there.
Sorry, like I said, so before all the pit stops started happening, when we scrolled through the guys from P7 and down hadn't been using their boost a lot. So I think we'll see a couple of guys move up and down from there. And yeah, I think Sam's definitely going to try and use as much boost as he can just to get away from Ghost Killer now.
7.2 behind DKs with 7 odd laps to go. Would be quite a accomplishment to make up those 7 seconds and get into a battle, but I'm sure he's going to push. Ghost Killer, sorry, is obviously going to try his hardest to hold on to the back of him.
Yeah, I think Sam's race here is for second. I think first he's gone. So unless it's a mistake that happens, he's fighting for second or third place here.
Definitely. I think it was last year in our Season 2 showdown, DK also had a really good race here along with Kalen. So he's also quite a Catalunya specialist. Maybe step back a bit to see the battle with Gonue and Jean shortly. I think those two will be fighting. Jean had slightly more pace on the early laps. They're about 7 seconds behind Ghost Killer. Watching Sam's car, there's no sliding. Well, as I say, there's a bit of a slide, but it's so smooth with that car. Here's Jean hounding Gonue's. Got the gap just under a second.
And just like you were pointing out there now with Sam, if you look at Jean's car, he's a lot more aggressive with the car, and the whole attitude of the car is just different.
A little bit wide into that first corner. He's obviously pushing hard. I think it's also quite noticeable the tyre wear. He did stop a couple laps before Sam. I was going to say it's tyre wear. You can see there's a bit of wear already, and if you compare the tyres, he's got more, but 1 or 2 laps more on his tyres as well. few little mistakes there in the slipstream, but he's still right on the back of Goniwe, JWO pace. Kalen's dropped back to 3.5 behind them. Lorenzo 8 seconds behind Kalen. Man, Mr. Josh just scroll through so you can see what's happening towards the rear end of the field. Right on board now with Lorenzo. He's also in no man's land, 8 second gap ahead, 4 behind. You can see one of the DMR guys, Mr. SMP3 Pro, chasing our Davids. If you notice, he's got the track art logo on the nose of his car. Our sponsors, a lot of the guys are in the running for a lucky draw. They put all their logos on. MJ Ninjas managed to recover to 12th after his little incident earlier. Hunting down Leap, he's only a second behind, 7/10 ahead of Fist, but he got a penalty there, so he'll have to lift off. Joys of the chicane. Just as you're making progress, it costs you a couple seconds. Carbon sitting in that dreaded 14th, Ninja back in 13th.
Yeah, so he'll have to have a good couple of laps to pull himself back out of that relegation zone.
Yeah, I think him and Fist are going to be having a fight for that now. With only 4 laps or so left, Leap had a slight gap. What's the gap sitting on? Is that 8.5 or 6.5?
8.5.
So Kiki's actually pulled out to second since Sam got into second place. Running in the 26s again. Last lap was 26.7. Almost matching his fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, if you look at that lap list, in the last 10 laps, he's only got like 127 there, which is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I think half of us want to retire when we see that kind of thing after battling to run 29s and 28s. Yeah, it's literally watching if you watch his lines, front wheels, it's holding the track, he's not sliding, he's not out of shape compared to what we had seen earlier.
I see Kendall asking in the chat, if you get a penalty in the last chicane, when do you serve it? And that would have to be before the start-finish line.
Yeah, just like we saw with MJ Ninja just now. The start-finish is quite close, and the way the penalties count down here, some guys might be slowing down and cross while it's counting down, but I don't think there'd be, if the guys are braking, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Just the joy of the track, because it gives it to you as you come into the last corner, and then you only have, if you have a 2-second penalty, for example, you've only got 3 seconds to get rid of it before the line. Diki's still pulling away. Sam second, Ghost Killer in third. He's trying to hold on to Sam. It's only a second behind.
I think Sam might be a bit low on fuel, so I think he can't chase that hard.
Ghost Killers hanging 7.1 ahead of Goniwe. Goniwe's managed to defend so far from Dynamic Sean, who's actually built up a bit of a lead. Still 3 odd seconds back to Kalen in 6th. Lorenzo 7th, SMP3 Pro in 8th. Comments are quite quiet on the side there. You guys are all watching and feel free to ask.
Yes, I'm quite surprised at the way the race has panned out in the second half, I must say. I was expecting a little bit more fireworks, as guys had maybe used slightly different fuel levels through the first half of the race. And the guys have just slotted into a space, and now everybody's running this a very similar pace.
Yeah, I think this battle here, 8th, 9th and 10th is probably the closest fight on track, but they're all sitting in that 1 second gap, because as soon as you get within that 7/10, If you start sliding around, make a little mistake, drop back, close up. And Catalunya is quite a hard track to overtake on. MJ Ninja trying to get out of that 12th place, closing down on Leap. Something must have happened to Fisk because he had a nice little lead over them earlier. Our Carbon's still in 14th, so Our Carbon and Fisk, KBR Fisk are the guys facing the chop at the moment. It's only a couple seconds after 20 laps, but every little bit counts, like that little slide will cost them half a second coming onto the main straight.
Yeah, with all these guys running such similar pace, as you don't have enough to make it up once you've made that mistake. You then have to wait for someone else to make a mistake so you can gain their time back.
Yeah, if we look at Deaky's last laps, the consistency, like you're saying, there's 2-3 tenths between all of them. I see he's done a couple. We just jumped down to Ghost Killer. Also very consistent, 27.3, 6, 3, 0, 26.9. He's picking up a bit of pace, chasing Sam. But yeah, the top three have been very consistent. Ghost Killer using the last of his boost starting the final lap. Kalen's still in, or Ganiwe's still in 4th place, but Sean looked a little bit closer to him there coming towards the end of the race. He's made up about 3 tenths, but don't think it's going to be enough.
I don't think anybody's close enough at this point to have a good fight to the line here.
You could always shortcut the chicane. That's about the only way any overtaking moves are probably going to happen unless someone makes a mistake. Lorenzo holding on to a strong 7th. SMP3 Pro a few seconds further back. R. Davids and Ghost Climax are both pretty close together but running out of time. See there's a little bit of boost being used there. Deaky coming up to the line, almost a 10-second lead. Domination from lap 1. He's using the final bit of his boost. I'm not sure if he needed it. Fastest lap of the race on the last lap, 26.49. So, great win for him. Sirius Sam taking 2nd, beating the fastest lap that Deaky just set.
Lap, yeah.
Yeah, they both got rid of their last bit of boost. I see Kalen's Ganiwe still had a fair amount of boost left. John looks very happy with his 5th. Here comes Kalen for 6th, also a fraction of boost remaining. Lorenzo all on his own, 7th place. Some chaos going on the last corner. We've got R. Davids, Ghost Climax having a few nudges. It's quite an exciting finish for them. Leap holds on to 11th, 12th for MJ Ninja, KBR Fisk 13th, and R. Carbon coming around the last corner to wrap it up for us. 3 races, 3 wins for Deaky, 3 races, 3 seconds for Sam.
Yeah, so Deaky really putting his stamp on this championship, and the other guys are going to have to work really hard to get back into that fight for the top position.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the car was going crazy on the screen there quickly. So yeah, wrapping it up, almost 10-second win, another 2 seconds back for Ghost Killer. Ghost Killer had a very good race today. Top of the pace tree with Ganiwe and Kalen 4th and 5th. Dynamic Jean 4th and 6th, sorry, with Dynamic Jean in 5th. I just want to thank everyone for watching. Our sponsors again, Trackart and TG and Racing Simulators. Don't forget to check out their page. Don't forget to like our YouTube channel. Mr. Josh Pillay, what do you have to say?
Well, I think Digi is making it very difficult for the other guys to try and steal that 10,000 rand prize away from him. So, yeah, 3 races, 3 wins. That's brilliant so far. And I think Sam is going to try his best, but yeah, it's still a long season. So let's see what happens. And well done to everyone in Pool 1.
We didn't have as much battling as last week, but I think everyone was just pushing to the limit and the gaps opened up, and that's how it stayed. But next week I think we have Fuji, which has the very long main straight, and turn 1's quite tight. The last sector is very tricky, so I think that's going to shake things up a bit.
I think another track where you'll find some interesting strategies maybe with because you've got so many fast sweeping corners, especially that long left-hander. So you might get some just based on tire wear, you might get some alternate strategies that might work.
Yeah, and yeah, that's I'm actually looking forward to it because it's one of my favorite tracks on the game. So yeah, looking forward to another good race in Pool 1, and we'll see everyone next week.
Definitely. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hosting, Josh. We'll chat to everyone next Thursday.
Thank you, everyone.